Hi, I'm Nandi. I'm a licensed midwife, a trained doula, and a mother of 3, and I'm based in Sweden. Welcome to my channel. Breastfeeding is something that I'm very passionate about, and it can be somewhat of a hot topic. So in this video, I'm going to share my tips on how to succeed with breastfeeding. So if you want to set yourself up for a successful breastfeeding journey, this is the video for you. Before I go through my tips, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I post videos about birth, pregnancy, anything that is baby related. I have a couple of videos out already, so if you haven't seen them, check them out and give me a subscribe so you don't miss the next time I post. Alright, let's get into the tips. Many overlook the fact that they should prepare for their breastfeeding journey, and it is in fact a journey. Breastfeeding is not we do it one time and then it's successful. You actually need to give it a lot of time and patience for it to work. For some women, breastfeeding works right away, but in my experience, what I see from working in postnatal care is that for most people, breastfeeding takes time to learn. It's new for the baby, and it might also be new for you. So a good way to prepare is to educate yourself about breastfeeding. Maybe that means reading books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, whatever you feel is a good way for you to gain information, blog posts. There are an array of books on the topic out. Also, of course, on social media you can find endless amount of information. But use what you can to prepare yourself before you get there. Many feel like preparing for birth is a given, but then kind of skip out on the breastfeeding part because they think, oh, my breastfeeding, it's a natural thing, it will work. And it is a natural thing, but you might need to have some tools in order for it to work. And a good way of gaining tools is to reading up or educating yourself on what breastfeeding is supposed to feel like, look like, the different patterns of the baby and so on. So when you get there, that you feel well informed and comfortable in what you're facing on your breastfeeding journey. My second tip is ask for help. Now, when you're in the hospital, if you have a hospital birth, or if you have home birth midwives, you can always ask them as well. But when you first start your breastfeeding journey, ask for help. Ask for help as many times as you need to until you feel comfortable enough to do it yourself without the help of others. No person in the hospital is going to be like, oh, why is she asking for help? She's not equipped to take care of this child. We want you to leave the hospital with as many tools and feel comfortable, so when you go home that you feel like you can care for your baby, breastfeed your baby comfortably without it causing a lot of stress, and that you don't have enough knowledge. So ask for help. When you've come home from the hospital, you can always call the hospital, of course, but there's also in some location there's something called Amningshjälpen. And Amningshjälpen is a place where you can go. It's like a breastfeeding clinic. It's a part of usually the hospital, and you can go there and meet very knowledgeable staff that will help you with your breastfeeding. So if you are encountering difficulties, it's good to know that this might be an option depending on where you live. You should find out if that is an option in your area. And another option might be Amningshjälpen. Amningshjälpen is a non-profit organization that works to encourage breastfeeding in the Swedish society. Breastfeeding numbers have been declining over the last couple of years, and all these tools are available, so use them. So Amningshjälpen might send another mother home to you, a breastfeeding mother who has gone through their little training, and will help you. Sometimes you just need very little tips and tricks, and then they'll get over that bump in the road. So they're a really, really good tool as well as postpartum doulas. Some postpartum doulas have a lot of experience with breastfeeding support. Others have taken classes and so on. So before you start breastfeeding, so during pregnancy, it might be a good idea to check out what options are available in your area. Are there some postpartum doulas that offer breastfeeding specialized care? And maybe just contact them and see what they have to offer. Another thing is to create a support system for you to get the most time and energy to focus on breastfeeding. You need other people to help keep your home afloat. So that might be your family or friends or your partner or postpartum doula that come in and do all the things that you maybe can't do for the first 1 or 2 or maybe more than that weeks when you and your baby are focusing on learning how to breastfeed. Usually people want to help a new family but don't know exactly what to do. So it's good to have a plan. Maybe have specific tasks for your family members or friends to do. They can be things like filling your freezer with meals that are easy to heat up and eat on the go. They can be having a schedule for cleaning your house or buying your groceries or taking care of siblings if they're older siblings. So whatever you need to do to keep your home like afloat and functioning, ask for help, plan it out, and you'll create a space for yourself and your baby. Or if you're a partner watching this, you can do it. You can create this functioning system around yourselves so that the breastfeeding journey goes smoother, that the focus can be on breastfeeding and rest and not on so many other things during these first couple of weeks postpartum. One of my biggest tips is give it time. I always say that when you give birth you have one shot, but when you're breastfeeding you have unlimited amount of chances. Give it time. Sometimes it really doesn't work in the beginning, in the first couple of days, and maybe your baby has gotten formula fed, or your baby was sick or premature. So give it time. Slowly learn to breastfeed. It is especially when it's something new, it can take time. But also when you have a new baby that hasn't done it before, for that baby it's something that is new, and every baby is different. So give it the time and a real effort to try to make it work. What I hear a lot of parents say when they've had a unsuccessful breastfeeding journey is that they didn't get help, that they were frustrated, that they didn't know if they were doing it right, had a lack of milk supply, which boils down to having the correct education and information. So give it time, ask for help. All the things I said previously in this video go into this thing. I also find when people have decided beforehand that breastfeeding is important to them, and then they're going to really stick with it no matter what, that they give it more of a chance. They stick with it in a different way, and they succeed better. This might have to do with the fact that they are willing to fight through the tough times. It might have to do with that they have a different support system. It might have to do with a lot of things. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that we have this innate we have this idea that breastfeeding is going to be simple and quick and easy right away, but it can take time. It can take weeks. For some people it takes months before you get into that flow where it's not complicated, where you don't have to think about it, where it's just easy peasy. So give it time. Those were my tips, but my last tip, which is a very specific tip. My favorite breastfeeding resource online is called BabyBaby.se. It is a blog where you can find videos, blog posts, images, everything you need to know about breastfeeding. I use this website all the time when I'm like, oh, how did I do that again? Or I have somebody with a specific issue that I haven't encountered before, or encountered very rarely, so I need to refresh my my knowledge on it. It's a really good website. I'll link it below. They also have an Instagram page if you rather follow them on Instagram, or you can do both. That website is in Swedish. If you have any similar websites that are as educational with images and videos, please link them in the comments, or like leave a link in the comments, because I'd love to have those as part of my library as well. So that was all for this video. How did you prepare for breastfeeding? Did you prepare? Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Hejdå!